My name is Jane Borowski. In 1988, when I was just 22 years old, I was attacked and stabbed 27 times and left for dead. I am a survivor. In the 1970s and 80s, women's bodies started to surface in the Connecticut River Valley between New Hampshire and Vermont. Is my case related to these cases? This is unknown. Why? Because all the cases still remain unsolved. Are all the cases related in the work of one serial killer? We don't know that either. But law enforcement did form a task force in the 80s to investigate all of them. I've joined forces with my co-hosts Amanda and Drew. Together, we are a voice for the voiceless. We advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves while remaining factual and engaging with empathy. The Invisible Tears team is transparent and opinionated, never claiming to be anything we are not. We aren't law enforcement, we aren't private investigators or journalists. We are victim advocates who care and want to help families.
So make sure you subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any episodes. You can find us on all platforms through our link tree in the show notes. There you can find our social media platforms, our YouTube, and our website with our merch. You can also find our Patreon there. So if you're interested in supporting and joining the Invisible Tears team, join our Patreon today. And as always, ratings and recommendations help our podcast in algorithms. So if you haven't shown us some love and given us a 5-star rating and review, please do so. We appreciate each and every one of you and your continued support.
Welcome to Invisible Tears. I'm here today with my wonderful co-host Amanda. Do we have Drew here today?
We don't, not today.
Don't.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna try to beat him into making sure that he's on some of the future episodes because I know you guys miss his face. We do too.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
So back on season 4, episode 13, we did a case on Sarah Hunter.
Yep.
And since then, the person of interest finally came forward and confessed.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to do a little bit of a overview on his confession, where he's serving his time now, and exactly what he did confess to.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So just a little bit of an overview. He had been a suspect. I still don't understand why he wasn't arrested for her murder years ago.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing from the New Hampshire AG's office is we don't have enough to prosecute.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, if you guys, so what we'll do is we'll make sure when you guys are listening to this, make sure you listen. We'll post, the original episode that we did about Sarah, obviously, so yesterday, so you can go back and re-listen to that too. Before we get into this overview, but they did actually end up arresting him, but they had to drop the charges because of mishandled evidence. And this is Vermont that we're talking about. And so it's
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yep. And so it's but he also adamantly denied, he was not guilty, not guilty. He adamantly denied being involved with this case too. I think that was one of the most shocking pieces to me as I was reading some of the articles that just came out earlier this month. So we're recording this right before Christmas, and this news broke just December 10th, right? So just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was so weird to me that he actually finally confessed.
Yeah. He had once told the police that he would address Sarah Hunter's murder when he felt it was time. He also said he would not take it to his grave. Wow. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Talking about someone that wanted to control have complete control over his narrative on his future, but didn't give two craps about her family. I mean, really, like,
Yep.
um,
Yeah, this guy's a real piece of work.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. So he did finally admitting taking her by force after she was at a gas station in Manchester. He placed her in the trunk, bound and gagged her, and then stabbed her with scissors into her ear and killed her.
Yep.
I didn't see anywhere, and maybe I missed it, but I didn't see anywhere where he actually admitted to sexually assaulting her.
I didn't see that outlined either. So either they excluded that in the update articles because it was found basically during the autopsy is when that was found, or maybe he didn't admit to that piece. I have no clue, but we do know based off of the original autopsy that she was sexually assaulted.
Yep. That was definitely announced through the Attorney General's office. So he was in the Vermont Bennington County Criminal Court when he finally confessed to this in Vermont. That morning, he was also confessing to a kidnapping in Berkshire Superior Court in Massachusetts.
That girl's lucky, man, and she knows it.
Yeah. She was hitchhiking, I believe.
Yep, she was hitchhiking and he offered her a ride. And he didn't stop she was 15 at the time. He didn't stop and drop her off where she wanted to be dropped off. He held her at gunpoint and she was only able to escape when he pulled into a rest area on Route 7.
Yeah, and she fought with him a little bit too to get away. Yep. And she was only 15. I don't really, I saw her name. I didn't really see any sense in putting her name on there. She's been through a lot. I'm sure she had, that was very traumatic for her, especially finding out who he was and what he actually did. Because Sarah's not the first victim.
Right.
This was his MO: kidnapping, sexually assault, and then murder.
Yeah.
And these all stem back to, hers was the one that got away was 1981, I believe.
Yep, in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Yep.
Yeah. And then Sarah's was 86.
Yes. Yep. Sarah was murdered in 86. Yep.
So he was just continuing to kidnap and rape these girls.
And then once he obviously was questioned and investigated with Sarah's, right? The heat was on. So then he went over to California and ended up getting, he was incarcerated over there because of another, kidnapping, rape, assault charge.
And in our last episode about Sarah Hunter, Drew kept questioning, well, if he confessed to that kidnapping out in California, why doesn't he confess to Sarah Hunter's? And he actually had the possibility of parole in California.
Right.
Where in Vermont, had he confessed to Sarah Hunter's murder in Vermont, they just gave him life without parole.
Right.
So he knew he would eventually get out in California. I'm not quite sure why all of a sudden he decided to confess to Sarah's, because now he's in jail for the rest of his life. He's incarcerated for the rest of his life. Yeah, he's 65 today. Or he's 65 years old. Right now.
Mm-hmm.
40 years, he was like 25. Because Sarah's happened 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So he was 25. Yeah, you got to question how many others were there. I believe there was several others.
I think so too. I think what they're going to start doing now is, so it was clear that the police departments, both Vermont and Massachusetts, started like really working together because of that kidnapping case of that minor. And it was clear that there was connections, back to Morrison. So that sort of like, shed the light back on him. What I honestly think that police departments will start doing is looking at very similar MO cases and sort of like rushing that DNA, while he's still alive.
Yeah. Trying to track his movements too. Where was he in this year and so on and so forth. There was another thing that I was questioning. When did he go to jail in California? It was 1988?
Yes, it was. It was 2 years after. Yep.
Okay. So we're looking at possibly cases from 81 to 87 or 86. The cases in between there.
Yeah, and if you remember back to our initial overview too, I did mention that there were some accusations from some young women about kidnappings, but things were dropped and he was never charged. This, while obviously you can't say definitively like there's any evidence, I guess you could say, per se, because things were dropped. This really alludes me to think that those women were actually telling the truth.
Yeah.
And it was just, either pressure or technicalities or trauma or something. A lot of people don't realize in situations like that, especially when you're a survivor. And Jane, you can certainly attest to this, how traumatic, like the police investigations, the interrogations, the courtroom, the lawyers, how re-traumatizing that entire situation actually is.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they were given lie detector tests. Why?
Yeah.
Like, as I know, I mean, I've told my story a million times, and there are certain parts of what happened to me, I feel my anxiety go up, even today. And it's been 37 years. So there are parts of this story when I'm talking about my attack that my anxiety goes up. I can feel it. So that's got to come across on a lie detector test, a polygraph test.
Yep.
It has to.
Yep. It has to, because it's a real physical reaction, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So to begin with, I don't even understand why they were given polygraph tests. Never mind not taken into consideration when they got to a certain point in explaining what happened to them, why the polygraph was detecting some sort of, misreading.
Right.
They should have realized, well, wait a minute, this was the dramatic point of her story.
Yeah.
This is where you're going to see the most anxiety in her. But then just say, oh, she didn't pass the polygraph test. Come on now. Yeah. That angers me so much. It's like victimizing the victim all over again. What the fuck? I'm sorry. But it freaking upsets me so much.
Yeah. It just goes to, I've actually, I've tried to have these conversations, one-on-one, direct with Drew too, right? Him coming from his own personal experiences shape him. My own personal experiences shape me. And just the differences between his experiences being a man and my experiences being a woman with some of the things that I've encountered. He just doesn't get it, but he loves trying to like figure it out. He likes it when I try and actually explain it to him. One time we were talking about the whole re-victimization and, with sexual assault, why so much isn't reported it's only like a small fraction of essays are actually, reported. And I was trying to explain to him like the re-victimization, like how that actually feels after you've already been victimized. And he just didn't get it. And then I was also trying to explain to him too, like, why it's very common for women, like, say something's happened to me, I will literally keep it a secret. I don't want to tell the men in my life that love me because I fear that they'll go, like there will be some sort of like repercussion or they'll do something stupid, but also it affects them in some sort of way. Like that's a very common thing, right, in that space. And he wasn't getting that either. I was like, I guess you just have to sort of like, kind of experience it and be there. Not that anybody wants to, but
yeah. I mean, a lot of people judge. And I mean, let's go back to where I received all the hate letters.
Right.
People judging, and I was feeling re-victimized all over again too with them. It was giving me such guilt. Like, oh my God, they're right. I should have never stopped. I should have just gone home. I put my baby in danger. I put myself in danger. I needed to stop victimizing myself and or playing the victim card and da 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 da. It's and it's the same with women that have been sexually assaulted. I'm almost positive that they go back and they revisit everything they did and think, well, maybe I wore the wrong clothes, or maybe I danced too sexually, or I should have never trusted him for a ride. And, that's my fault. And I led him on and I was drunk and da, 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 da. I'm sorry, but it is never the woman's fault for sexual assault.
Correct.
And I don't care how many signals these men feel that they are getting. It still does not give them the right to violate a woman and to sexually assault her. It doesn't give you the right to do that. When she says no, that should be it. It's no. I feel for these women that do feel so much guilt and feel like, they're at fault for what happened to them.
Right.
And you're right. There is just a small fraction of women that actually come forward after they are sexually assaulted. And it's sad. It's so sad that and the thing is these men that sexually assault, I almost guarantee, one, that's not their first sexual assault victim. Two, there will be another after that assault victim.
Yeah.
Once they do it and they get away with it, they're going to do it again, and they don't see any repercussions or accountability.
Yeah.
So I would almost guarantee this David Morrison has a lot of victims out there that have not come forward. And he's in jail for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole, and I think he's going to serve his time out in Vermont.
Yep, that's what all the articles that I read said, that he's serving out the rest of his sentence, so he will be spending the rest of his life in jail in Vermont.
Yep.
So
good.
Yep.
I'm so sorry to do this to you, but we have to go and listen to our sponsors for a quick moment. We're back. Here we go.
I also just kind of want to give a little bit of a shout out, though, to Detective Truex from the Vermont State Police in a couple of the articles that I was sitting there reading. So Detective Truex was apparently one of the original detectives on the case. He had obviously retired.
Yep.
He came out of retirement when Massachusetts and Vermont started working together with like the kidnapping case, and they thought there was a Morrison connection. And in fact, Detective Truex, was actually the person that went over. It sounds like there was a team, but Morrison only wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
And then he ended up confessing. So it sounds to me like there was some sort of really great detective work, as hard as that can actually be to. I can only imagine being a detective and being in some sort of space and having to like sort of like humanize the monster that you're sitting across from to try and build trust, to try and solve cases, to try and get information. I remember Philpin talking at length about
I
this
do too. I do too.
I can't imagine how hard that is, but it sounds like, it appears like this detective did it and he came out of retirement to do it. So thank you, detective.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They still don't have that. They still have not talked about any DNA. I have not found anything about DNA at all. And if these were sexual assaults, you would think there would be some DNA unless he protected himself.
You would think so, but I hope that with any of the other cases that he may be possibly connected to, like even if he did that and took precautions, Jane, I would hope that the way in which they collected evidence, it could be preserved so it can now be further analyzed with touch DNA. Because even if he took all the sort of like precautions, I guess you can say, to try and not leave any trace of himself, it's really hard to do that with touch DNA. Like impossible, like dead skin cell, like falling on something. So I hope, one can only hope.
Yeah, hope. I mean, hopefully that they can put it through some kind of CODIS system, his DNA, and find more hits. Because I'm sure there's a lot of families and victims out there that would love to see a resolution and answers and know that, who it was, and find some. I hate the word closure, but I guess,
find some answers.
Answers. Yeah.
Answers
that I like to use.
Yeah. I find myself being a little bit more drawn to using that sort of terminology, at least get some pieces of information, some answers, some, he, like you said, there's no closure in cases like this because the trauma and the tragedy has already happened and continues to affect, but at least with some answers, hopefully further healing can occur for those that were impacted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And close some of these cases.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this will not be our last conversation about him because if they put his DNA through CODIS, I'm sure there's going to be other cases that are going to pop up. And not necessarily murder cases, but kidnapping and rape cases. I'm not quite sure. He really didn't. I know there was a question in the article that I read. Why did he kill her? Whereas some of the others were just kidnapped and sexual assault. But why did he kill Sarah? There's still questions out there that he has not answered,
right?
Or at least not to media. So hopefully we'll get some more answers and more description on, who, why, certain circumstances, why kill Sarah, but a few of the others he did not kill.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Kind of curious. I'm sure there's more to that story.
Yeah.
And he had reasons.
Yeah, I'm sure. Not sure we'll ever know, but
because the one in California, he didn't kill her. He just kidnapped and raped her. I don't want to say it that way. He didn't just kidnap and rape her. He kidnapped and raped her, but he did not murder her.
Right. I believe it was kidnap, rape, and assault. So, was what he was charged with in California, and was serving out a pretty hefty sentence as well.
15 to life, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, that was good to see.
So he's been in jail way longer than that. Because he went in 88. So 30 something years, 37 years. He's been in jail. I wonder why so long
Mm.
when he got 15 to life. Maybe the families kept coming forward and asking for him not to be released.
Yeah.
And maybe he never completed programs that he was supposed to complete.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually they have them
Right.
Do programs for sexual assault and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's interesting. I'm kind of curious about that too.
Yeah, me too.
But well, I'm happy for Sarah's family.
Me too.
Hopefully they'll be able to move forward and find some peace and know that this POS is in jail for the rest of his life for her murder.
Yes.
And they're seeing some justice. And
Yes.
Sarah definitely got justice with him being in jail for the rest of his life. And him confessing. I think him confessing was huge.
Yeah.
I'm glad the family didn't have to go through a trial and hear all the gruesome facts in the case.
Yeah.
To me, that's I'm happy for the family when they don't have to go through a trial.
Yeah.
When the POS actually confesses.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. So yeah, so I guess in conclusion, the title of our original episode, season 4, episode 13 was "Is Sarah Hunter's Murder Solved?" with a question mark. It is now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we can start doing more of these updates with resolutions. Some of these cases being solved. I love doing these episodes because so many questions have been answered. And seeing justice. It kind of sucks sometimes when they're dead and they don't actually go to jail or they don't confess or anything like that. That kind of sucks. But I like doing these cases where we actually can say Sarah Hunter's case is solved, closed, and the POS is in jail for the rest of his life. I mean, I can't ask for a better outcome.
Right.
Cannot ask for a better outcome. And he confessed.
Yep.
So.
I agree, Jane. I agree. Kind of helps to give us a little bit of hope. We're so immersed in so many missing and unsolved murder cases, right? Within, everything that we cover and the advocacy that we do. When something solves, it helps to give
every
hope.
time a case is solved, it gives mine a little bit more hope, It's like I have not lost hope in my case. When a 40 and 50-year-old case is solved, it's like, okay, mine's only 37.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I still have hope. Unfortunately, I don't think mine's still alive, but we'll see. Hopefully, all this DNA stuff is starting to come out hot and heavy. And, I'm a true believer that all these cases are solvable. You just gotta, I think it's timing and the right investigative work and the right investigators and technology today. Good old DNA.
And the right prosecution team.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes. I just had to put that little dig in there.
Yeah.
Couldn't help
it. With that. So, thank you for listening to Invisible Tears. Please follow, subscribe, share, check out our Patreon, go to all our social media. We could really, really use your help now. Tell your friends about our podcast. We got some really good reviews. And if you go on and listen to our podcast, rate, share, write a comment, all the following. So thank you again for listening to Invisible Tears. Until the next time.
Thank you all for listening to this episode of Invisible Tears. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. You can find us on all platforms through our link tree in the show notes. There you can find our social media platforms, our YouTube, and our website with our merch. You can also find our Patreon there. So if you're interested in supporting and joining the Invisible Tears team, join our Patreon today. And as always, ratings and recommendations help our podcast in algorithms. So if you haven't shown us some love and given us a 5-star rating and review, please do so. We appreciate each and every one of you and your continued support.